Today is a very interesting podcast of the Book of Jake because I've got Aaron Pinto, who's the Chief Operating Officer of Media Prima Audio, and Shah, who's the Head of Content for the company. Why is it interesting? Because it's survey period. What is a survey period actually? It's where you get results of how well your station does. Before that, guys, please like, share and subscribe if you find this video or podcast really interesting. I'll get straight to the point. It's hot number one.
Yes, it is.
For sure. Why is that?
Well, because it is based on the Nielsen Diary survey. Hot is the number one.
What is the numbers of Hot on Nielsen?
It's 3.8 million. So we are the number one radio station in Malaysia. Our closest competitor is 2.9 million.
So there's a gap about 1 million between you and your closest.
Almost.
Who is purportedly or supposedly number one in GFK.
That's correct.
Which you all are at 4.4 million.
That's correct.
But even at GFK, you all grew about 1 million, right?
Yeah, we did. Outright. Clean million.
But I just want to know why the need of two measurements and why have you all gone with Nielsen?
The Nielsen study is actually one that's more stable, one that's more representative of the entire industry, and Nielsen is a bigger company. It's renowned worldwide for doing
that's why GFK went.
Measurements. They're bigger than GFK.
In terms of methodology, what's the difference between both of this?
I think it's the frequency first, Jake. I mean, the frequency, like Aaron said, is a bit more consistent with the Nielsen. The methodology also slightly different on how they approach the audience in getting the data. So I think for us, we picked what suit us in consistency, but also the type of reach that they're able to do different.
Okay, key for Nielsen is that the sample size is bigger. So for a typical Nielsen study, we can go to as much as 16,000 people.
Okay, so coming back to one could say that you're using a measurement that serves you, right?
Agreeable.
Yeah.
Okay. So is this consistent with your digital numbers? The reason I'm saying this is because when it comes to share of voice, when I talk about radio station, Hot is actually resoundingly loud across all networks. And I coined this phrase a long time ago, watch radio, where the perception of listening to radio is gone. And I ask people, did you listen to radio? They think they're listening, but actually they're watching radio. So your digital numbers have been, can you share with me, Shah?
Yeah, so there's two parts to it, Jake. Some people tend to like to look at the amount of followers you have. But the way algorithm in the digital landscape has already changed drastically, even just by having small chats with TikTok or even Meta, they can tell you now it's all about the engagement. So people can easily not follow you, but if it comes out on someone's suggested feed, because based on the algorithm of type of content you receive or you like to interact with, you can consistently get fed by a particular handle or any brand that appears but doesn't mean you're following them. So they're interacting with you, they're already watching it, also might be liking it, commenting, but never following. So in that sense, our engagement for Hot FM has grown drastically by 78%.
Oh, wow.
Easily. Fly FM, another station on the site, has easily grown to 480% in engagement. So that's more important, because then what fans or people that interact with your handle is more intimate than just following you, because you can follow someone but you will never appear on my feed because I don't interact with you or that type of content.
Okay, I see your point. So how much influence has KJ have had, Khairi Jamaluddin, or KJ as is fondly known, has had on your Hot FM?
You want to take this, Shah? You work with him every day.
There's two parts. There's a reason why our followers has grown, but also what I would say is the top of mind. So the relationship between KJ, Hot FM, KJ, and he is a very well-known personality, face of the whole country. And the whole country. You say KJ, they will know who he is, and then they'll go, oh yes, podcast, Hot FM. So these are the two things that side with KJ right now, and we follow suit. But also there's the other part where it becomes attractive for the brand, that it opens up a very different avenue in regards to clientele that is interested or people that want to associate with Hot FM because it opens opportunities differently.
Coming from a radio background also, and I do so many things these days, but what I really am interested in is how bringing in KJ has changed the dynamics of radio. So before it was, you have one announcer for 5 days and KJ came in and the perceived is he's there for the 5 days,
Yes.
and his visuals and his audio and his use and his repurposed very, very intelligently by you guys. And I think that has changed the dynamics of radio. Well, one thing I love about having KJ on is, of course, his content is resonates across all Malaysians. And you said it very rightfully just now, because not only Hot FM audience sample him, but it's other audiences.
Correct.
So I think Hot's grown there dramatically.
We have to agree that since KJ has been on with Hot FM, I mean, I myself go through it. We get people who never used to listen to radio or don't listen to Hot FM, maybe listen to radio, now listen or follow, or they tune in some way or form wherever we are at Hot FM, which is in multiple platforms. And they cite that, I heard KJ is going up Mount Kinabalu. When is he going up Mount Kinabalu, for example? That's the biggest thing
I
that's
think he's
happening
on
this
the
week.
hill tonight.
So it's things like that. And say, did they make it? I want to follow So it's these things that happen organically and because of who he is and also the brand. So they both complement each other more than anything else.
So Anugerah Bintang popular, Aaron. So how much difference did it make for Hot FM with him winning? And there was also there was sort of an issue about a video that he sort of like mocked the Prime Minister, which I thought it was done so harmlessly. But so
I think KJ winning ABP is, as you know, ABP is the biggest thing in the country, and him winning it has helped us tremendously. It has brought a lot of recognition to Hot. It has generated a lot of conversations on the brand, about the brand, both on air as well as digital as well. So it's helped us tremendously.
Yeah, so I did speak to KJ about this, and I think that one of his strengths is people just want to have a selfie with him, and him actually, and this is the truth, he came for my daughter's wedding and he was there, and I saw people taking selfies with him, and I realized that his attractiveness or his just complete ownership of the situation is the ability for somebody to walk up to him and say, "Can I have a selfie?" And these are just not Hot FM listeners. This is anybody. And it's bragging rights for them. So that is, to me, clear example of how well the brand has synergized with his brand to actually push him a little bit forward, which I find really amazing. Now, not to leave out Johan, AG, and also Farah Fauzana, and with KJ, who have created a complete phenomenal breakfast show.
Yes.
What is the next extension of this?
From this, how do we go to the next point? And for me
I'm not talking about adding a fifth, because I think it's weird. I think the show is already is optimally well with its son. But what's next for this Hot brand?
I think what I would love for the brand is to travel the world. The brand travels outside Malaysia in relevancy as well, in type of stories that these four actually connect with our audience, and a great story can be told in many languages, and these days with social media you can bring it anywhere. So I would see it that way. If I can bring this show and this brand somewhere and outside Malaysia, I think that is where it should be.
Yeah.
So you guys hired Pat Neil, and Pat Neil was on the podcast, also one of the most, to me, decorated talents in radio, and also, is there plans of developing Cool? Because I see Cool has taken on a very, very nice feeling, which is very authentic, which is human, which is empathy, which is heart, and I see a lot of this on Cool. And is this the way that you're planning to take it, and how do you think are you going to expand it?
The emotional content really resonates with a lot of Malaysians. And with Hot, you have it going down a particular path. With Cool, it's taking on a different track. And Aznil, I think, fits right into that space. Emotional, caring, content filled with empathy. This is something that this new path for Cool will be.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's actually very real, and that's I know that's on the cards, and you're building the brand slowly. And Cool's got a very significant or distinct sound to it, which I find amazing. Fly FM with Hanif and Ian there, and you're doing some really interesting stuff there. And these boys are, with Sadiq doing a bit of stuff and all that. So how did Fly do in the Nielsen? It's up to 2.4 million.
2.4 million. Fly had a great survey for the Nielsen study. It grew by 13%. So it's now at 2.4 million. I think with Fly, it's all about this Gen Z, this generation. They want to belong to something. They want to stand for something. And this is why Fly as well takes a stand on things like Palestine.
Malaysian
music. That's another big thing that they're into. It's about believing in a cause and really building it and building content with that cause to resonate with the generations that's actually consuming the brand now. And both on air as well as digital.
But just to add on to that, Jake, I mean, the perception of English radio stations, I mean, we've done radio quite a while, so we've seen it evolve over time. The perception of English radio station tends to associate itself with international artists, international news. And I think having Hanif in Fly FM and running this ship with Ian, especially, I think the localization factor is very important now, especially the way, like Aaron said, Gen Zs or new generation would like to stand for something. And I think developing the association with localized things is very important right now because it's homegrown and not just that it's really owned by us, and it's something very strong that I think Ian and Hanif drive very well as well to showcase how we have so many great local things that can be presented in just normal Malaysian English.
It's authentic. To me, it's authentic. When you can actually listen to a radio station and not speak the Queen's English, or speak in Malaysian, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's authentic. And Hanif brings that. Ian's just naturally really funny. And the station, I feel that next year is going to be their year. Yeah. They are going to peak. You will see a number one English station in Fly, inshallah. And that's really going well. Molek is also a gem in the east coast of Malaysia, where you've gone up quite well, because it's the only measurement for Molek is via GFK, right? Currently, it's done 1 million and it's done some really good work. Yeah. How is Molek progressing?
I think Molek's progressed very well. It's grown by 23%, and it's over 1 million now in what is essentially 2.5 years.
Yeah, we just coming from a radio background is phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal growth, and with Molek, it's down to what they do, the content and how they present the brand. It's very East Coast, and that resonates with the audience. Even the shows as well, they speak in their lingo, so which is fun. It really connects with the audience over there.
So what are you all proud of that you all have done this year so far for Media Prima Audio?
It's very important for us to stand for something. And each brand is very defined in what it stands for. And in all parts, it's really for the rakyat and the people.
Not shocks sendiri lah.
No. And we hear people out so that we know what we can do better for them as well. I mean, just citing back where Kuan wants to stand up for all the TikTok employees that got retrenched.
That was brilliant.
That is no one else did that, but we did that. We created avenues that actually people don't dare to go, but you can actually do it. So it's going that extra mile for the people more than anything else, and showcasing to them that we are here no matter what.
I think what I'm really proud about Media Prima Audio this year is that we have broken the mold of what traditional radio normally focuses on. We've taken a stand on issues that matter to our listeners.
Look, you guys have put a minister on air.
We've put a minister.
You've put an AI on air.
Yeah,
you've broken the mold from one day to and you've done some fantastic things. I do not look at Media Prima Audio as a radio outlet, and it shouldn't be that way, because we do ourselves no service by looking at ourselves like that. in terms of clients, why should the clients pick you guys?
We just do it better.
Yeah.
How?
We have better ideas.
We
we
can't
have
say we do
better
it better, but how?
execution.
How?
Yeah.
What are the things that you're proud of?
It's our ability to use technology to drive new ideas for clients. That's a big thing for us. It's our ability to create content that's different, that resonates in the digital space as well as the traditional space for the client, that it's brought them recognition. So, and multiple awards.
And the stories we tell are all real.
I like that.
And it's not manufactured. So from the giving a Tantari a song to making him a song with Molek to KJ on air and visiting Apache and getting him a wheelchair to climbing up Mount Kinabalu to partner going all the way to Penang to visit a fellow guy who has ill mother. So it's all these stories that cannot be manufactured, but it's real. So this is what we embrace. So in all parts, I think this is what we do different in this very, very, very saturated digital world as well that we live in. This is the difference that we offer many clients out there or whoever that wants to partner with us or be part with us or even for our fans that follow us. This is just the difference that
I do agree. When you talk about radio per se, if I had to think back, and I'm not being partial at all, so when I think back, and I call a spade always. When you talk about radio content digitally or what, I can only think of Media Prima Audio. And if you even spoken to some key clients and key agencies and says, in terms of radio, you guys are doing it. So I want to congratulate you guys.
Thank you, Jay.
And before I let you go, what's next for Media Prima Audio?
Aaron? Besides the new building that we're moving to.
Yes, and our new studios, which, by the way, has better equipment, better technology built into it to further drive our
but I've always
agenda.
said, if the input is shit, you're going to get, sorry for my French, you're going to get output is shit also. So you can have the best technology, but if your input is really
that's
terrible.
true.
Yeah, so.
But key is, while you were talking just now, one thing that came to my mind is why is Media Prima Audio better than everyone else is because the things we do is more memorable.
That's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually believe that.
It's more memorable. People remember it. People talk about it. So for a client,
that's
why
exactly
wouldn't
what
you-
they want.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you do it with us?
Yeah, okay. Any parting words for anybody who wants to get into radio or anybody who doesn't believe you're number one now?
We are number one.
We are number one, Jake. I think in all parts, whoever that wants to be part of radio, you have to be agile. Like I've said this to you before, Jake. It's moving with it, and that's how Media Prima Audio as well has always stayed in a situation where we just pivot and we really move with everything that suits the current climate or rather what people want. So in all parts, if anyone that wants to be part of the team, come with your A game and be agile as well, because you'll be surprised in one day what you can learn. Imagine in a week and in a month.
So congratulations. I think that you guys have done really well in the last 3 years. Your share's gone up pretty well. You're doing really well. You've moved radio from negative to positive. And I can only say an up and up. So if there's one thing that I might ask, what is the single most trait that keeps you going, Aaron?
The stuff that we do that matters to people. And when I see the results coming for me, this is why I do what I do, because, we're part of people's lives.
Okay, sure.
I think it's the why not. Jake. For me, it's why not. So why can't we do it? Why not do it that way? So
I'm very similar, and I guess we have to keep challenging the status quo. And so amazing stuff, guys. I'm really excited to see what's next for Media Prima Audio. Nasri is not here. He's always not here. Just kidding. I'm just kidding, Nasri. Nasri leads MPA. And guys, if you've got any questions, please drop us a line. I'll put your contacts. And like, share, subscribe. And yes, congrats on number one. And
Thanks,
KJ, thank you for being with Media Prima Audio. Yeah.
Radio, one of the first true mass media innovations, a tool that connected people, sparked imagination, and brought the world into living rooms. From humble beginnings, it has been the soundtrack to our lives. As the years went on, radio became the heartbeat of entertainment, news, and culture. From music to talk shows, it connected the masses, one voice to millions. But technology never stops evolving. Radio transformed, adapting to the digital age and becoming more than just sound waves. And at Media Prima Audio, we are leading this transformation. We brought fresh, unexpected voices to the airwaves, like Khairi Jamaluddin, or better known as KJ, who's found a new home on Hot FM.
Hai, saya KJ, menang selfie, kalah undi.
And today, Hot FM is the #1 radio station in Malaysia with 3.8 million weekly listeners. Fly FM continues to soar, growing by 275,000 listeners. The brand now reaches 2.4 million weekly listeners tuning in for the freshest content and music. And then we went further, introducing the world's first AI DJ, Aina.
Hey, this is Aina from Fly FM. How are you doing, boss?
Aina isn't just a voice, but an evolution of interaction. Personalized, engaging, and always there. Each of our stations brings something special to the table. Cool 101, Molek FM, and 8 FM continue to drive great content for their passionate audiences, building unique connections across the country. Today, radio is more than sound. It's multi-platform. We're on your airwaves, in your feeds, and in your hands. Audio, video, and social all work together to create an immersive experience. But we're not stopping there. The future is closer than you think. Radio reimagined, taking you beyond the sound into a fully immersive experience. At Media Prima Audio, we've redefined radio. Welcome to the future. Join us as we take it even further.